tea for the shogun. Okay, so the Ashikaga shogunate, this is way back before China really got going, but the Ashikaga shogunate did something that was called an onari. So o is honorific and nari means like to appear, like the shogun is coming to visit. So it's a pretty big event, everybody's very nervous. What do you do? Well, the shogun gives you a set format to follow, and it means that everybody has to come to a particular standard. So all the feudal lords and the people in their domain usually have to spend a hell of a lot of money to make sure that these events are very good. So it sort of like depletes their coffers a bit and allows the shogun to sort of keep a bit of money, because they don't have to deplete their coffers, but all the daimyos that were receiving them do. And this was a set format in the Ashikaga days. So you've got the shogun bestows gifts to the feudal lord in the shoin room. Okay, the shoin, formal architecture, which you can see in most tea rooms in Wafudo, but especially like the Kasari no Ma is a shoin. It has like a writing desk against one wall. Then the feudal lord offers gifts to the shogun in the hiroma room. So hiroma drops in formality a little bit. So therefore the feudal lord offers the shogun gifts in there. And then from that same hiroma, so at Wafudo, if you think of the shoin yashiki, which overlooks the garden, you have three big rooms that can all open up into one huge reception room. From somewhere like that, you'd watch a no performance in the garden. And then you return to the shoin for a kyozen, which is a big banquet, a lot more luxurious than kaiseki, many rounds. Okay, so come to the Tokugawa period. This is from my favourite tiger drama of all time. It came out in 2011. I've got the box set. This is Tokugawa Hidetada and his wife Go, two of the best looking actors in Japanese history. So Hidetada loved Chanoyu. His dad, Tokugawa Ieyasu, didn't really care that much for Chanoyu, but Hidetada certainly did. And he was a big fan of Oribe, and he got Oribe to come and do tea for the Tokugawa shogunate before he ordered him to commit seppuku for treason. But he loved tea and decided to do something more substantial with it, which manifested in the Tokugawa shogunate's version of the onari. Okay, so have a look at this for a big day out. In consultation with Purut Oribe, Tokugawa Hidetada decided to reinstate the tradition, I guess, of the Ashikaga shogunate's onari, but he tacked on a whole chaji to the front of it. So that meant that all the daimyo suddenly had to create a whole tea complex in their residence somewhere and have it attached to the main building so they could conduct this. So off you go, boys. You're up for some serious expenditure. Don't you just love how they just do these subtle, it's like, yeah, we're just going to do this, and everyone has to go, okay, here we go. That's good for you if you're a team master, I guess. It means you get a good gig somewhere. Anyway, so you know the format of a chaji. I don't need to go through that with you. But then after the format of the chaji, they'd change into some formal attire, cross over to the shoin yashiki, the formal reception hall, and then do the Ashikaga shogunate. It's onari as well. Serious fun. I would love to be one of these. So just to show you how it would work on some of the maps. So this is an old map from Wafudo inside Hiroshima Castle. Before it was lost in the Meiji Restoration, which I'll talk about before, and also before the whole thing was obliterated in the atomic bomb. So here, this part here is the shoin yashiki of the Ueda family. So this whole thing, if you've ever been to Wafudo, think of this as about 4 times the size of the current Wafudo. So it's like seriously luxurious scale, like massive. So it would have been nice to be in the Ueda family back then. So all this reception stuff of the Ashikaga shogunate would take place over here, and here is the crossing bridge. Of course, this is about 4 times the size of the current one at Wafudo, and here's Wafudo here. Okay, where they would conduct all the tea. So when you do an onari, you come in via the Sukiya mon. Sukiya means like the tea Chanoyu gate. It's a more humble gate. because it's for tea, they come in through the back way. Then you cross over into the main reception hall and then you leave through the main gate at the end of the day. Okay, and I guess that the Nor performance would have been conducted here because there's a big pine tree here. So the Nor stage would probably have been set up here to dance in front of this big pine tree, I imagine. Okay, and then you have a look at the current layout of Wafudo. We've got the Sukiya Mon here. So the shogun would come in through here. Well, they didn't because the whole tradition of the shogun Onari fell away. But you can still conduct one if there's ever going to return to feudal times in Japan. You can come through the Sukiya Mon here. Here's Wafudo. You do your chaji. You cross over the covered bridge and you go into the shoin yashiki over here. Here's the 3 reception halls that can open up into one massive hall. And from here, you'd view the Nor performance, which has happened at Wafudo many times, out in the garden here. So at the moment, Wafudo in Hiroshima is the only place in the whole of Japan where you can actually do shogun Onari if you want to. It's there for, it's nice to see the history.